welcome. We are from the US Career Navigators team, and today we are excited to give you an inside look at how we work on our resume orders. Right? Exciting. So, this tutorial will be incredibly helpful for those who want to understand how resumes are crafted and what best practices we follow. So, in today's session, we'll be focusing specifically on how to present your work experiences in the most effective way possible. So, going forward, we'll definitely be uploading many more tutorials, so stay tuned. But for now, let's jump right in. Okay, step one. As you can see on the screen, this is one of the resumes that we received from one of our customers. Now we have redacted their personal information such as their names, their phone numbers, their emails, also their companies where they have worked in, because it is really critical for us that we do maintain that privacy for all our customers, right? So let's just go ahead and see what this resume is telling us. As a career advisor, your step one is to take some time to review the resume thoroughly and try to understand the key details. It is essentially important to get a clear sense of your candidates, of your customers' experiences, skills, and their overall career narrative. Okay, let's take a pause, go through the resume. So, okay, so they have company learning support specialist, alrighty, um, safety officer, excellent. As you're going through the resume, you are definitely having some key points in your mind, right? As a career advisor, I can actually see that this person has great experiences when it comes to learning, because just three experiences and two of them is all about how they have acted as a fantabulous learning support specialist and a classroom support assistant. So that's good, but just let's keep going, right? Led and coached a team of 5 8 retail, so great skills there. We want to see a final version of the resume with all those quantifiable results. Okay, so first step, right, looking at this resume, we can see that the customer is currently employed in three roles, right? One, this is the second, and this is the third role, right? So three roles they are currently employed at, which shows solid experiences overall. Now, what is a step two, right? At this step, we want to create a separate document. So for this tutorial, we have already created all those steps. What is a step two? Step two at this stage is a separate document where we want to see what our customer wants. What happens with US Career Navigators is, as soon as a customer puts in a request for an order, right, we ask them to send us their resume, their cover letter, or whatever material they have. Even if they do not have any of those materials, we would request them to hop onto a quick call, a Zoom, a call, a phone call, or even text us, right? Or send us an email, which is really important for us to understand what their aspirations are. The goal at US Career Navigators is to align their aspirations with their experiences, right? So, at this point, our career advisor got in touch with the customer and asked them, what are you currently looking for in your new role? What are your career aspirations? And any other key relevant details. Our goal is to align the new resume, the final version of the resume, to meet the customer's needs and highlight the most important aspects of their experiences, right? So the customer's four key points were, they have varied experiences and they want to highlight all of them. They're looking for jobs in teaching and or customer service, which is great because remember the first look. Let's just quickly see the first look of the resume. This is first one. They had varied experience. They have experience in learning, education, a safety officer, a retail supervisor. So they have that education and customer service skills, right? Also, what they are saying is they want to see roles which are either remote, but even if it's not a remote role, it's not a deal breaker. So excellent there. And they're also very passionate about their career and helping others. Let's move on to the first part, first resume they shared, right? As a career advisor, our next step is to really dig into the resume, right? You want to make sure you are going through all these points step by step to understand all these bullets, to understand what the customer has actually done. What happens is, even if we say that we are one of the customers, right, we are actively employed, right? So you just want to put in on a piece of paper what you are working on, but no one actually thinks about putting in those figures, right? For example, in this very first experience, this candidate has definitely shared how they have supported students in completing assignments, they have done classroom activities, they have administered quizzes, tests. Excellent. What's missing here? Let's write it here. Missing points is data. How many students? Right? This is very important because in the education sector, we want to know if you are working as a learning support specialist, how many students were you actually helping with. There was a consistent communication with teachers and staff. Excellent. There were personalized instruction to small groups. Again, how many small groups were there, right? All these data is very, very, very important. So, some of the key things that we have to look into when we are working with any of the resumes. Every step, these are the steps we have to follow, right? The second is a safety officer. They worked as a safety officer in one of the companies, right? So, what they're saying is they were responsible for maintaining the safety and security of the premises by conducting routine patrols of the building and surrounding areas, detailed incident reports, managed follow ups. They were collaborating with management authorities. So, my first question would be, what kind of shift were they at? Night, day, um, were they training someone? So, when you go through all these points, right, first thing as a career advisor or a career coach is to ask questions to yourself, because once you ask questions to yourself about this candidate experience, you can jot down all these points which are going to be really helpful, and then you want to ask the candidate to give answers to them so that you can put them all into the final version of your resume, right? And this was one of the points I was looking at, collaborating with management and local authorities. What kind of local authorities, right? Because what we want to see is the kind of collaboration, the kind of experience, the kind of communication, the kind of um, authorities they were in touch with, because that really adds to the value, right? For example, just throwing it up in the air, if they were chatting with the FBI, for example, right, we do want to mention that does add value to your resume, right? So you want to go through each and every one of these points. Now, coordinated the acquisition of materials, resources needed for the lesson. Just going through 3 points, right? Our initial impression, including many, is how the customer, how this candidate has written all these points, but there's a lot of space available, right? And as a recruiter, this doesn't really help you, right? There are a lot of bullet points, but these bullet points are just like a couple of words, and there's a lot of space at the end of each line, which is not really adding any value. So let's just pause here, right? As we told you, this is how at US Career Navigators we are trained to work on each and every resume, right? What is a step 3? The step 3 is organizing all the experiences that you see in a resume in a chronological order. As you can see, this 2023, you need to have all these experiences in order which is easily readable by the hiring manager, by the recruiter, right? We have already done this. We have taken this resume and put all of this in a chronological order. So this gives a better understanding. 1124, 923 to Karan, then 21. Good experience. As a career coach, I would say it is a very, very good experience they have listed. Excellent. Now, what is our step four? Our step four is aligning experience with aspirations. It is a crucial step. As you know, the customer is seeking roles in either education or customer service, right? Remember the document 3 that we were talking about? These are all those notes that the customer shared. They are looking for roles in either teaching or customer service, which is excellent for us because they have experience in both these fields, right? At this very point, our career advisor who was working on this very resume decided to reach out to the customer to get further clarification. After reviewing the resume, we recommended moving forward with not one, but two tailored CVs. One that highlights the customer's experience in education and training, which is paraprofessional, substitute paraprofessional. There was a tutor here, there was a summer youth camp worker here. You want to highlight all these skills when you want to work, when you want to make a resume for someone who is looking for jobs in education sector, right? And the second, which emphasizes their administrative and coordination experience, such as office assistant. Let's just highlight this with this color. The shift supervisor, um, the shift manager, of course, and the security guard. Excellent. Let me change the color. Excellent. So this is what our plan is, to give them with two different resumes, one that will help them applying with which will help them apply to different educational roles, the second which will help them apply to all the administrative roles, right? Excellent. So what we have done here is we have already, as you know, to say for the purpose of this tutorial, we have already worked on one of the educational resumes. So this is what our final product is going to look like. As you can see, this is not complete. This is just a tutorial. We wanted to show you how a good resume should be. We have included their names, where they are or where they are looking for opportunities, the phone number, the email, LinkedIn. It is integral to the success of the resume that a candidate must put a small professional summary. This summary is all about what they are, what they are aspiring to be, right? So this customer is a dedicated and adaptable professional who has experience in education and remote work environments. They are skilled in classroom support, student engagement, and admin assistance, right? There are area of expertise that we have worked on, but this is something we'll be touching on in our next tutorial, since this tutorial is all about how to enlist experiences. This is what we have done. As you can see, our first experience is how they're working as a paraprofessional in company XYZ for this time period, right? If you look at the bullet points, we have completely altered the definition, the formatting of all the bullet points. These bullet points are crystal clear, they're quantifiable, they're showing the results, right? This individual fostered the student confidence in high pressure scenarios that definitely resulted in such improvement in skill retention and academic performance among how many students? Among 30 students. Very, very important that we quantify all the results. Organized, prepared educational materials contributed to the smooth operation of the classroom, supporting average of 5 lessons per week. All these terms, all the data is very, very important. Similar for all the different bullet points. Since this resume focuses on the candidate applying for educational jobs, we have only focused on highlighting the experience where they have worked as either paraprofessional, substitute paraprofessional, a tutor, and summer youth worker. In a section where we have said additional work experience, we have highlighted their work as a security guard, a shift manager, and a shift supervisor. This is a basic layout as to how US career navigators actually work on the resume. So for now, we hope that you enjoyed this video and you got to learn something, right? At the end of the day, we want you to learn a thing or two from every video that you see from our team. We'll be pausing for now. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and stay tuned for our next video. Thank you so much.